A 23-year-old Toyota Land Cruiser just sold for $4,200, still racking up miles at nearly 500,000, original engine untouched, while most new SUVs struggle to make it to 100,000 without major repairs. In a world where manufacturers cut corners and design cars to fail just after the warranty expires, there's a hidden marketplace of 18 overbuilt SUVs under $4,500 that will, quite literally, outlast you, saving thousands in the process. Car companies bet you'll never look for these legends, but inside this list are models so reliable, owners have handed them down like family heirlooms. What is it about certain years and designs that makes them virtually indestructible? And why did automakers suddenly abandon this level of durability? To understand what's really behind these unstoppable machines, we have to go back to the golden age of SUV engineering. During the late 1990s and early 2000s, automakers approached SUV design with a mindset that prioritized longevity above all else. At the heart of this philosophy was the use of fully boxed steel frames, closed rectangular rails that delivered up to 4 times the torsional rigidity of traditional open C-channel designs. For example, the 100 series Toyota Land Cruiser's boxed perimeter frame, crafted from 4mm thick steel rated above 400 megapascals, boasted torsional stiffness exceeding 20,000 Newton-meters per degree. That's triple the rigidity of most open-rail chassis from the same era, a difference you can feel every time the vehicle absorbs a pothole or hauls a heavy trailer. This structural overkill wasn't limited to the Land Cruiser. The Lexus GX and third-generation 4Runner shared similar boxed rails and heavy crossmembers, while GM's GMT 800 platform, used in the Chevy Tahoe and Suburban, transitioned to hydroformed boxed rails around 2000. These engineering choices weren't just for marketing. They were a direct response to warranty data and fatigue failures that plagued lighter, open-channel frames. Boxed rails distributed stress evenly, controlled flex during off-road use, and delayed the onset of cracks by several years, even under punishing conditions. It wasn't just about the frame. Driveline components were often borrowed straight from commercial trucks. Axles like the Dana 44 or GM's 10.5-inch corporate rear end were rated for loads far beyond what most families would ever demand. Transmissions such as the Toyota A750 or GM's 4L80E were designed to handle gross vehicle weights of 6,000 to 9,000 pounds, with factor of safety margins double what the average owner would inflict in a lifetime. Bench tests and teardown studies from the period confirmed these parts routinely survived 300,000 miles or more, often outlasting the body panels around them. The result? A handful of SUVs that feel almost immune to the passage of time. Fatigue life studies show that boxed frames in these vehicles can withstand 2 to 5 times as many stress cycles as open-channel competitors before showing signs of failure. This translates directly to real-world longevity. Vehicles like the Land Cruiser, 4Runner, and Suburban not only resist twisting and sagging as they age, but also shrug off the heavy towing, off-road abuse, and daily commutes that send lesser SUVs to the scrapyard. There are caveats. Fully boxed frames, while stiffer and stronger, can be more prone to rust if not properly sealed, a vulnerability that's well known in the Northeast and Midwest. But when protected, the structural advantage is undeniable. Chassis engineers from Toyota and GM have gone on record stating that the move to boxed and hydroformed rails was driven by the goal of creating vehicles that could last 1,000,000 miles in critical components. That's the kind of engineering that turns a high-mileage Craigslist listing into a smart investment, not a gamble. The era of overbuilt frames and oversized driveline parts didn't just happen by accident. It was a deliberate choice, and it's the reason these SUVs have become legends among buyers who value reliability above all else. After 2004, the SUV market entered a new era, one driven less by engineering pride and more by the bottom line. Automakers, under mounting pressure from shareholders and rising material costs, began searching for every possible way to trim expenses. The first casualty was steel. Frame rails that once measured 4 millimeters thick were quietly dialed back to 2.5 or even 2.1 millimeters on many mainstream models. That may not sound dramatic, but it slashed raw material costs by hundreds of dollars per vehicle and shaved dozens of pounds from curb weight. The trade-off was a frame that flexed more, fatigued sooner, and, when exposed to road salt, rusted through in half the time of its overbuilt predecessor. The changes didn't stop at the chassis. Driveline parts, once borrowed from heavy-duty trucks, were swapped for lighter, cheaper variants. Axle tubes shrank, ring gears slimmed down, and transmissions lost their cast-iron cases in favor of thinner aluminum. Some models, like the 2005 to 2009 Toyota 4Runner and Lexus GX, switched to lighter suspension arms and smaller bushings after internal cost analyses showed a projected savings of $120 per unit. The result? A measurable uptick in warranty claims for ball joints, bushings, and frame corrosion after just 5 to 7 years on the road, numbers that would have been unthinkable during the late 1990s. Electronics exploded in complexity during this period, but not always in ways that benefited the owner. Touchscreens, multiplexed wiring, and integrated control modules replaced simple switches and relays. While these features looked impressive in the showroom, warranty data from the era paints a different picture. Electrical failures became the leading cause of out-of-warranty repairs by 2012, often sidelining otherwise solid vehicles over a $1,600 module or an untraceable wiring fault. Manufacturers quietly shifted their design priorities around warranty periods: 3 to 5 years, 36,000 to 60,000 miles. After that, the expectation was clear. The next owner would foot the bill. Material changes were sometimes justified as advances in efficiency or safety, but internal documents from several automakers reveal a different motive. A 2005 cost analysis from a major Japanese brand, later cited in an SAE technical paper, showed that reducing frame steel thickness by 0.8 millimeters across a production run of 200,000 vehicles would net nearly $9 million in annual savings. Similar calculations drove the adoption of smaller, lighter wheel bearings, thinner brake rotors, and more plastic in everything from intake manifolds to door handles. The goal was no longer to build a vehicle that could survive 1 million miles and 3 owners. It was to maximize profit over the initial warranty window. This shift wasn't unique to one brand or region. American, Japanese, and European automakers all followed suit, with cost-cutting measures filtering down to even the most utilitarian models. The result was a generation of SUVs that, while lighter and cheaper to produce, simply didn't last as long as their predecessors. Fatigue failures, rust-through, and electrical gremlins became the new normal. For buyers, it meant that finding a truly long-lived SUV under $4,500 was now a matter of knowing exactly which years and models escaped the accountant's scalpel, and why those rare survivors have become so fiercely sought after in today's used market. Across the national used SUV market, the $4,500 price ceiling draws a clear line in the sand. Most buyers shopping in this range are staring down odometers showing anywhere from 160,000 to 220,000 miles, with the sweet spot for both price and reliability clustering right in that band. Data from platforms like Edmunds, AutoTrader, and TrueCar reveal that the majority of listings under $4,500 are for vehicles built between 2002 and 2012, with the heaviest supply coming from the Midwest and South. These regions routinely post the highest volumes, 260 to 300 fresh listings per month in the Midwest alone, while the Northeast and West lag behind, often due to rust and lower overall supply. The most common models at this price point are Ford Escape, Chevrolet Trailblazer, Honda CR-V, Jeep Patriot, and Nissan Rogue Select. For the Escape and Trailblazer, typical listings show 120,000 to 220,000 miles, often with some cosmetic wear, but a clean title. The Honda CR-V and similar Japanese models post slightly higher average prices, often landing between $3,800 and $4,400 for examples with 160,000 to 250,000 miles. These CR-Vs and Toyota Highlanders are snapped up quickly, with median time on market just 6 to 14 days. Rarer finds, like a sub-$4,500 Toyota 4Runner, almost always have more than 250,000 miles and sell within days, sometimes hours, of being listed, regardless of condition. Buyers hoping for a low-mileage bargain, say under 120,000 miles, are mostly out of luck. The occasional 2015 Rogue Select or Ford Edge with 80,000 to 110,000 miles does appear, but these are rare and often come with accident histories or cosmetic neglect. The real volume is in the 150,000 to 250,000 mile bracket, where most models cluster and where the best deals are found for buyers who value proven longevity over showroom shine. Seasonal shifts are real. Spring and early summer bring a wave of new listings as owners cash out after tax refund season, temporarily lowering prices and increasing selection. By late fall, the market tightens, dealer inventory rises, and private listings slow, especially for luxury or specialty models like the Lexus RX or Acura MDX, which can linger unsold for weeks if priced above $4,500 or showing high miles. Condition descriptions follow a predictable script: runs and drives, needs minor repairs, clean/clear title, and, in stronger listings, one owner, new tires/brakes, or full service history. Above-average examples, especially those with documented maintenance and rust-free frames, move fastest and usually command prices at the top of the range. Listings that mention transmission work, frame rust, or salvage history trade at the bottom, or sit unsold. Time on market data confirms this. The best-maintained SUVs are gone in under 2 weeks, while high-mileage luxury models, or those with major needs, can sit for over a month. For buyers searching nationwide, these patterns offer a roadmap. Focus on the 160,000 to 220,000 mile band for the best mix of price and proven reliability. Target models with full service records and be prepared to act quickly, especially on Japanese SUVs with clean titles. Ignore the temptation of a low-mileage outlier unless you can verify its history. Most are hiding deferred maintenance or accident repairs. The numbers don't lie. In today's market, a well-kept, high-mileage SUV is a smarter buy than a neglected low-mileage one. And knowing how to read the data is the first step toward finding a survivor that truly will outlive you. Regional quirks can make or break a $4,500 SUV deal, and nowhere is that more obvious than in the battle against rust. In the Midwest and Northeast, where salt and moisture attack frames from the inside out, even a mechanically perfect 4Runner or CR-V can be one harsh winter away from the scrapyard. Listings with phrases like solid frame or no rust command a premium, sometimes $800 to $1,200 more than identical models with surface corrosion or flaking weld seams. Meanwhile, the South and Southwest offer a different landscape. Vehicles here might show sun-faded paint and cracked dashboards, but their underbodies are often pristine. For buyers willing to travel, searching southern listings can mean the difference between a 10-year survivor and a money pit. Title status is another hidden minefield. Salvage or rebuilt titles are common in flood-prone areas and after major accidents. Sellers sometimes downplay these histories, but insurance databases and Carfax reports tell the real story. A clean title with a full stack of service records is worth its weight in gold, especially on Japanese models, where a documented maintenance history can push resale prices up by 10 to 15%. In contrast, a salvage title Highlander or Grand Cherokee might sit unsold for weeks, even at rock-bottom prices, because buyers know that hidden frame damage or electrical gremlins can turn a bargain into a financial black hole. Seasonal timing matters too. Early spring brings a surge of new listings as tax refunds hit bank accounts and owners upgrade, creating a brief window where inventory swells and prices soften. By late summer, the selection narrows and prices rebound, especially for rust-free or one-owner SUVs. Savvy buyers set alerts and move fast, sometimes closing deals within hours of a new post. In high-volume regions like the Midwest, listings can spike by 20 to 30% in March and April, but the best examples still disappear in days. The lesson is clear. Patience pays, but hesitation can cost you the only rust-free, well-documented SUV in your price range. Geography also shapes what you'll find on the market. The Midwest is flooded with Ford Escapes, Trailblazers, and Equinoxes, but many show advanced frame rust by 150,000 miles. The South and Southwest lean toward higher mileage Honda and Toyota models with cleaner underbodies, while the West is the home turf for Lexus RX and Subaru Forester outliers. In the Northeast, even Subaru's legendary all-wheel drive can't save a frame from salted roads, and the rare rust-free Survivor is priced accordingly. For buyers on a budget, the smartest move is to prioritize condition over odometer. A 220,000-mile CR-V with a full service history and a clean, rust-free frame from Georgia is a safer bet than a 130,000-mile Trailblazer with bubbling seams and a salvage title from Ohio. Leverage service records, check title status, and, if possible, expand your search radius to include regions where rust is less aggressive. The data proves it. A little flexibility on location and timing can mean the difference between a decade of worry-free driving and a costly lesson in hidden damage. Toyota's reputation for durability is grounded in stories like the third-generation 4Runner, produced from 1996 to 2002. Powered by the 3.4-liter V6, 5VZ-FE, this SUV became a legend among mechanics for its ability to reach 300,000 miles and beyond with only routine care. In Bozeman, Montana, mechanic John L. bought his 4Runner used at 45,000 miles in 2001. Today, it has cleared 700,000 miles on its original engine and transmission, still on the road every day. His maintenance routine is methodical. Oil and filter every 5,000 miles, transmission fluid every 50,000, 3 timing belt changes, a water pump at 345,000. The only unexpected repairs have been 2 alternators and a rear differential seal. Even after a rollover on black ice in 2010, the 4Runner needed only minor bodywork before returning to daily duty. What separates these Toyotas isn't just the engine. The frame and suspension mounts are engineered for longevity, with extra gusseting at the rear lower control arm mounts and boxed steel rails that resist fatigue. Factory documents from the era show a focus on overbuilding these components, resulting in vehicles that shrug off decades of use. Suspension bushings and ball joints are straightforward to replace, rarely causing catastrophic issues. The platform is designed to endure, not just survive. The Lexus GX470, sharing its platform with the Land Cruiser Prado, brings the same philosophy to a more refined package. Its 2UZ-FE 4.7-liter V8 is known for reaching 400,000 miles or more, provided the timing belt and water pump are replaced every 90,000 miles. Most GX470s under $4,500 have 200,000 to 300,000 miles, and owner forums are filled with examples passing 400,000 on original drivetrains. The main vulnerability is frame rust in salt-heavy states, a problem John L. manages with annual undercoating. Toyota's first-generation Highlander takes a different route, blending Camry reliability with SUV practicality. The 3.0 and 3.3-liter V6 engines are nearly indestructible, and transmissions often last beyond 250,000 miles. Owners routinely report Highlanders reaching 300,000 miles with only regular fluid changes, and the occasional suspension refresh. Insurance data ranks these models among the lowest for mechanical failures, even at high mileage. Finding a Highlander with 350,000 miles on original major components is not unusual when service records show consistent care. Longevity in these Toyotas and Lexuses is no accident. It's the result of deliberate over-engineering and a culture that values durability. As John L. puts it, "Frame rust is the only enemy. Everything else is immortal if you keep up with fluids and bushings." Toyota's dominance in long-term reliability is only part of the story. The early 2000s Sequoia, for example, stands as a testament to what happens when an automaker adapts its full-size pickup platform for family duty without cutting corners. Powered by the 4.7-liter I-Force V8, a derivative of the Tundra's truck engine, these Sequoias are routinely spotted on auction blocks with over 300,000 miles, original drivetrain intact, and only basic wear items replaced. Owners who tow heavy trailers or boats praise the engine's unstressed design, noting that even after years of hauling, oil analysis often comes back clean and compression numbers remain strong. The Sequoia's frame, borrowed from the Tundra, is fully boxed and gusseted at key stress points, allowing it to survive Midwest winters and cross-country moves with little more than surface rust if properly treated. Nissan's Xterra, especially the first generation, quietly built a reputation for outlasting expectations in the harshest environments. In 2006, a Wisconsin snowstorm stranded dozens of drivers on rural highways, but a 2001 Xterra, with over 250,000 miles, became the unlikely hero. Its 3.3-liter VG33 EV6, a simple, non-interference design with a timing belt, delivered just enough torque to tow sedans and crossovers out of snowdrifts all night long. The owner, a volunteer firefighter, reported that the only casualties after a night of rescue runs were a snapped sway bar link and a bent exhaust hanger, both fixed for under $100. Unlike modern crossovers with traction control that gives up at the first sign of deep snow, the Xterra's old-school, part-time four-wheel drive and low-range transfer case delivered the kind of mechanical certainty that electronics can't match. Subaru's Forester, often overlooked in the reliability sweepstakes, deserves mention for its sheer mechanical simplicity. Early 2000s models feature the 2.5-liter EJ25 Boxer engine, notable for its low center of gravity and a design with fewer moving parts than a typical V6. While head gasket leaks are a known issue, owners who address them early often see these engines crest 250,000 miles without internal repairs. In the West, rust-free Foresters from Oregon and Northern California are prized for their ability to handle both mountain passes and city commutes with equal ease. The all-wheel drive system, fully mechanical and always engaged, requires little attention beyond fluid changes. Mechanics point out that the lack of complex electronics and the engine's straightforward timing belt setup make these Subarus unusually easy to keep on the road, provided rust hasn't claimed the underbody. Stories like the Wisconsin Xterra Rescuer highlight a broader truth. Japanese SUVs from this era were engineered for real-world abuse, not just showroom appeal. Whether towing, rescuing, or simply enduring the daily grind, these vehicles prove that durability isn't a myth. It's a matter of smart design and proven components. And while Toyota models command the highest loyalty, the Sequoia, Xterra, and Forester show that the formula for longevity was widespread among Japanese brands, each bringing its own strengths to the survivor table. Detroit's answer to import longevity comes from three mainstays: the Ford Explorer, Chevrolet Trailblazer, and Jeep Grand Cherokee. Built during a time when American automakers still favored mechanical strength over cost-cutting, these SUVs offer a kind of durability that rewards those shopping on a $4,500 budget. The third-generation Ford Explorer, produced from 2002 to 2005, features either a 4.0-liter SOHC V6 or a 4.6-liter modular V8, both using timing chains instead of belts. This design eliminates a major maintenance worry, as timing chains generally last longer and are less likely to fail without warning. The V6's chain system does require attention, but with regular oil changes and documented service, these engines routinely pass 220,000 miles. The rear-wheel drive platform and live axle suspension keep repairs simple and parts affordable, thanks to shared components with millions of other Fords. Most Explorers in this price range show between 140,000 and 210,000 miles. Transmission issues can arise, but regular fluid changes often double the life of the 5R55 automatic. The real advantage is the abundance of cheap, interchangeable parts, making these trucks easy to keep on the road. Chevrolet's Trailblazer, especially the 2002 to 2008 models, is anchored by the 4.2-liter Vortec inline-6, an engine known for its iron block, robust timing chain, and smooth power delivery. With basic maintenance, it's common to see these engines reach 250,000 miles or more, often outlasting the rest of the vehicle. Timing chain problems are rare unless oil changes are neglected for years. The GM4 L60E transmission isn't flawless, but it's affordable to rebuild and widely supported. Listings in the Midwest and South often show Trailblazers with 180,000 to 240,000 miles still running reliably. Common issues like wheel bearings and fuel pumps are straightforward for DIY repairs. Rust is the main threat, especially in northern states, but the mechanical core remains solid. The WJ generation Jeep Grand Cherokee, built from 1999 to 2004, completes the trio. Its 4.0-liter inline-6 is legendary for its simplicity and resistance to internal failure, with many examples reaching 300,000 miles. The 4.7-liter V8 brings more power, but can develop head gasket and timing chain issues after 180,000 miles. Electrical problems and the N23 recall are well documented but manageable. In regions with less rust, Grand Cherokees with clean records still sell quickly. While none match the mythic reputation of a Land Cruiser, these Detroit SUVs deliver honest durability, affordable repairs, and a repair ecosystem built for longevity. Domestic SUVs don't always get the spotlight, but a handful of under-the-radar models offer surprising value and real staying power, under $4,500. The Ford Expedition, for example, stands out among full-size options thanks to its boxed frame and heavy-duty underpinnings. Early 2000s Expeditions share much of their chassis with the F-150, including boxed steel rails and a fully independent rear suspension that was ahead of its time. These trucks routinely appear in southern and midwestern listings, with 170,000 to 260,000 miles, often still on their original drivetrain. Rust is the main concern, but examples from dry climates can last decades with little more than basic maintenance. Salvage yards in Texas and Georgia are filled with Expeditions boasting intact frames and running V8s, even after 20 years of hard use. Chevrolet's Equinox, especially 2006 to 2012 models, is another quiet contender in the sub-$4,500 bracket. While early Equinoxes faced criticism for engine issues, later years with the 3.4-liter V6 or 2.4-liter Ecotec 4-cylinder have proven far more robust when maintained. Listings in the Midwest and South show these SUVs trading at $4,200 to $4,500 with 120,000 to 170,000 miles, often with a clean title and a stack of service records. The basic front-wheel drive layout and simple suspension keep repairs affordable. While the interior plastics may feel cheap, the mechanicals are straightforward and parts are plentiful. Owners who keep up with oil changes and address timing chain noise early can see these Equinoxes pass 200,000 miles without major drama. The Acura MDX brings a different flavor to the value equation. Built on a Honda platform, but assembled in the US, the The first two generations, 2001 to 2008, combine the proven J35 V6 engine with a well-designed all-wheel drive system. High-mileage MDXs are common in auction data, with many 2005 to 2008 models showing 210,000 to 250,000 miles and still running strong. The key is transmission service. Early units suffered from weak automatics, but many have already been rebuilt or replaced by the time they reach this price range. A well-maintained MDX under $4,500 often means a rebuilt transmission, fresh timing belt, and plenty of life left in the engine. Owners report annual repair costs in line with mainstream Hondas, not luxury SUVs. What unites these domestics isn't mythic reliability, but honest value. With boxed frames, proven V6 engines, and a supply of affordable parts, the Expedition, Equinox, and MDX offer dependable transportation for buyers willing to shop smart and prioritize maintenance history over low mileage or flashy features. In a market obsessed with Japanese longevity, these under-the-radar picks quietly deliver on the promise of lasting well beyond expectations, often at a fraction of the cost. Honda's reputation for reliability didn't end with the golden age of over-engineering. It evolved. The post-2010 CR-V and Pilot stand as proof that Honda's engineers never lost sight of what matters: mechanical simplicity, robust components, and field-tested durability. The fourth-generation CR-V, introduced in 2012, is powered by the K24Z 2.4-liter inline-4, a chain-driven engine that all but eliminates the fear of a snapped timing belt and the costly repairs that follow. This engine is known for its conservative design, with a conventional Gerotor oil pump integrated into the balance shaft module. Failures are rare, and as long as oil changes are kept on schedule, internal wear is minimal, even after 250,000 miles. Transmission longevity is another high point. The 5-speed automatic used through 2014 is simple, with proven hydraulics and a track record of surviving well beyond 200,000 miles when fluid is changed every 100,000 to 150,000 miles. Owner forums are filled with stories of rideshare vehicles and family haulers cresting 300,000 miles with nothing more than routine maintenance: oil, filters, brakes, and the occasional alternator or belt tensioner. Even the climate control system, long a weak point in earlier Hondas, is more robust in these later models, with far fewer reports of compressor failure or expensive A/C repairs. The second-generation Honda Pilot, built from 2009 to 2015, continues this theme. Its J35Z 3.5-liter V6 is chain-driven, sidestepping the need for costly timing belt replacements. Oil pump design remains straightforward, and the VTEC system's solenoid gasket is an easy fix if it ever leaks. Rear suspension bushings and motor mounts may need attention after 150,000 miles, but these are affordable jobs compared to the transmission failures that plagued the first generation. In the real world, Pilots with 250,000 miles are common in taxi and rideshare fleets, where downtime is money and only the toughest vehicles survive. Maintenance is predictable, with annual repair costs in line with mainstream sedans, not luxury SUVs. For buyers searching under $4,500, these Hondas offer a rare blend of modern safety, comfort, and old-school reliability, proving that, even in an era of cost-cutting, some automakers refuse to compromise where it counts. Affordable crossovers like the Nissan Rogue Select, Ford Edge, and Jeep Patriot have become quiet staples for budget-conscious buyers. The 2014 to 2015 Rogue Select, often overlooked, surfaces in southern and midwestern listings with clean titles and mileage between 83,000 and 110,000, selling for $3,900 to $4,500. Its chain-driven 2.5-liter engine is known for longevity, while the minimal electronics and basic interior outlast many upscale competitors. The primary concern is the CVT transmission, dependable with regular fluid changes, but risky if neglected. For those who confirm service records, the Rogue Select stands out as a rare, low-mileage opportunity among a field crowded with high-mileage options. Ford's 2011 to 2014 Edge offers another compelling choice. Clean examples with 86,000 to 158,000 miles frequently list just under $5,000, often with full maintenance histories. The 3.5-liter Duratec V6 is chain-driven and durable, and the 6-speed automatic, if serviced, can surpass 200,000 miles. Owners appreciate the Edge's solid ride and straightforward repairs. Wheel bearings and tie rods are common, but rarely expensive. Its basic electronics avoid the costly failures of newer SUVs, making it attractive for those seeking modern looks without hidden repair risks. The 2009 to 2012 Jeep Patriot, especially with a manual transmission, appeals to buyers who value simplicity. The 2.4-liter World engine regularly exceeds 200,000 miles, and low-mileage, well-documented Patriots can be found between $3,500 and $4,450. Lacking advanced electronics, these models keep repair costs low and maintenance simple. In a market dominated by high mileage and complex crossovers, these models prove that reliability and affordability can still go hand in hand. In 2024, listings confirmed that a 1996 to 2002 Toyota Land Cruiser with nearly 500,000 miles can still change hands for under $4,500. This single fact anchors everything we've shown. Overbuilt SUVs from the late 1990s and early 2000s, with boxed steel frames and durable drivetrains, routinely outlast newer models built after cost-cutting became the norm. Our research documents 18 models, Japanese and American, that consistently reach 200,000 to 300,000 miles or more when maintained, as verified by owner records and mechanic testimony. Yet, questions remain. The long-term effects of modern electronics and thinner materials in post-2010 SUVs are still being documented, and some service records remain incomplete or inaccessible. Still, the evidence is clear. Buyers who focus on well-maintained, proven platforms benefit from unmatched reliability and value. As the used market evolves, these enduring SUVs remain a benchmark, offering practical proof that smart engineering and regular care can and do outlast trends or technology cycles.